Hey, welcome to my channel. This is a quick little add-on before you get to the actual video. There's no light on, it's dark in here, I'm just holding the camera. But when I sat down and started editing, I realized what I'm fixing to tell you that my camera did cut off the whole first portion that I talked about. I am so glad it did not happen at the end of the video, or I would have lost the whole video. So it cut off my whole weight. The reason we're here is the weigh-in, so let me give you that. I weighed in at 325 for a loss of 6 pounds, and that puts me at 51.5. And I think the only thing I had talked about was how I hover up and above 50, and then that's where it picks up what you're getting ready to see. So sorry about the weirdo inconvenience, but as we talked about at the end of the video, weird things do happen. So that's just one of these aggravating things. So now jump on into the rest of the video. My camera detected my palm and took my picture. Since I know that's a thing now, that is the coolest thing ever. Did I tell you before? I know I told you before. I'm going to tell you again. It's on Android. I'm sure it's not on iPhones. They have their own stuff going on. But on the Android, if you hold you're trying to get a still picture, you know, like you hold your phone out trying to get a selfie and all this and that. Well, if you just have your phone, like right now it's on a tripod. If I hold my palm up, I'm just going to put my fist up. If I hold my palm up, it'll put like a little timer around and then give you time to smile and flash, and takes a still picture of you. So I just took my picture. But anyway, I was saying I hover above 50 and below 50. I got the 70. At one time, I got the 70 pounds, and I declare I cannot remember what happened, and it dropped. I mean, it dropped like the anvil on the Roadrunner's head. You hear what I'm saying? Even though it didn't hit him. It tried. Oh, Wile E. Coyote, he tried. Listen, that's one of my favorite cartoons. As a kid, me and Papa, we'd watch the Roadrunner. Listen, and when you're a kid, you just know that's going to be the time he gets it. You can't process that the show must go on, therefore he's not going to get hit by that anvil. That and Fred Kirby. We loved to watch Fred Kirby. I don't know if he was a local. I know he was on the station in Charlotte. I'm almost positive. If I'm speaking wrong, somebody out there will tell me. And it seems like it was Sunday morning he came on. I can't remember. But me and my papa, we watched Fred Kirby. And that's where we would watch Red Skelton. The Fred Kirby show, he would then put on the different shows with it. And so that's where we would watch Red Skelton. I'm almost positive that's my story. It's my story. I'm sticking to it anyway. So the weigh-in, I am overly pleased with the weigh-in. So I'm not crabby about that. Not one little bit. Considering, well, I didn't really, we tried to get back on track last week when he went back to work. And for the most part we did, you know, so. We stopped the eating out. We went to Whataburger one time. But we didn't do like we did when he was on vacation and like we did over Christmas. So we stopped all that. And for the most part we got back on track. And then Monday of this week is when I really tried to get back on track. And Monday was a half and half. And then I was back on Tuesday. Yesterday I was on until I had a early morning doctor's appointment. I mean early morning. The way that I go, I'm on the outer loop, and it's 45 minutes from the house getting it. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my coffee. I'm going to tell you why I think I feel my crabbiness easing. But I'm going to tell you in a minute. And it's about this right here. Let me get a drink. And y'all going to know why I really, really need it. So it's 45 minutes getting it. Well, I missed my exit. And you know how it goes from like 4 lanes? And it walks down to 2. And I didn't get in the right lane. A lot of times when I know I got to get off, no matter how far it is, I'll ride that right lane so I know I'm over. Because when you get on those interstates and those beltways, the outer loops, whatever you want to call it, you can't always, people don't always be nice to you. And I couldn't get over. And so I missed my exit. Well, it took me on down a ways, and it said 22 minutes to where I needed to go, because I was like, okay, where am I going? Where am I going? Thankfully, it was not 22 minutes, but I was right dead on time. I like to be early. What they say, if you ain't early, you late. That's how I feel about it. If you ain't early, you are late. Me and Holly, she got the same thing from me. You tell her to be here at 2 o'clock, she going to be here at 1:30. Well, now that she got the baby, she still does pretty good. Even though she got the baby, she still does pretty good. Unless he's asleep and she's having to change a diaper or something like that. But she likes to be early too. So, what was I telling you? Oh, and so it was time for my second shingles shot. I felt fine. My arm started getting sore. So it was sore last time. The first dose of COVID, the first booster, the second booster, the flu shot, none of them, couldn't even tell they touched my arm. But the shingles, the last one was sore, but I didn't get any side effects. And this one, I started feeling bad. I was sitting back here in my craft room, working on the tag questions. Listen, it's hard coming up with questions. I'll just tell you that right now. But I was sitting back here, and it just washed over me. All of a sudden, my eyes started getting hot, and like I'd been up for 48 hours. You know that kind of feeling? And I started, I didn't feel like I had the flu. I felt like I wanted to get the flu. Does that make sense? So I just went in there and sat down, and I was just feeling so bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot cook. I am not able to cook. And I got them beautiful pork chops, and that's what we were supposed to have last night. So when I don't feel good and I'm not able to cook, my go-to is pizza. It can be delivered, and it's comfort food. So I ordered pizza, had it to be delivered at 8 o'clock when David was getting out of the shower, so it'd be nice and hot for him. So I was on track up until I started eating some. Listen, I'll be honest with you. On my candy bar, my little candy tray that I had at Christmas, there was different little candies, and I had them left, and I put them in baggies. Well, back before I tried to get back on track, I finished off the Junior Mints. They're gone. The little snow caps, I don't really care for those, so I had them in there yesterday. I'm like, well, I'm not even going to eat those just because I want to eat chocolate. I don't like them, good enough to eat them, even if I feel like eating chocolate, so I threw those away. And then there are like the Hershey's. They're like M&M's, but they're Hershey's. They're in there, and I don't really feel like eating those. But there were the little baby Kit Kats, the ones about that big that you get at the Dollar Tree. I got into them. Well, did I get into them first, or did I get into them second? I think I got into them second. I got into some. This was earlier in the day, so it wasn't right before supper. It was earlier in the day because I started feeling bad earlier in the day. I got into the tortilla chips because we had those for something. So I got into those, and then a little bit later I got into the Kit Kats, and then for supper I ate pizza, which I didn't eat much. I had one piece of pizza, one cheese stick. And the only reason we never get cheese, when I say never, they say never say never, but I can say never. We never get cheese sticks, but they had a $5 off a $30 purchase. And I was like $2 away because we got a pizza and some boneless wings. I was like $2 away. And the thing at top says, would you like some cheese sticks for $5.99? I'm like, well, gosh, I can get them cheese sticks for 99 cents. So sure, give me the cheese sticks. So I had one piece of pizza, I had one cheese stick, and I had 4 of the boneless wings. And I'm going to tell you, I like the honey barbecue. We get our pizza from Pizza Hut. We like Pizza Hut. Their wings, their regular traditional bone-in wings, are my favorite wings, pretty much of anybody's. They are just, oh my gosh, they're so good. And I like the honey barbecue. I don't know if my taste buds were just whacked up, or if they've changed their recipe since we've ordered them last, because they have gotten super expensive. We never get the boneless. There again, let me say never. We never get the boneless, but they had them on special or something. Wing Wednesday, if that was part of Wing Wednesday or something. So I went for those, and they lit me up. Even after I had 4 of them, they were so tender and so good, but they lit me up. And it was the honey barbecue. So I told David, them is all you, buddy. That they still, stuff left in there. But that's what I had for supper. So I didn't go completely berserk. But I did have, more than what I would have had I cooked my supper that I had planned. But I just couldn't. I just felt like poop. This morning, I feel better. I feel back to normal. My arm is like, I have to really work it around to tell that I had it. It bled. I didn't even realize she put a Band-Aid on there. So I rubbed up there this morning to see if it was sore, and I felt that Band-Aid. I bled. I've not bled on none of my other shots, but that Band-Aid was covered in blood. It didn't feel like nothing like that when she shot me. But anyway, let me tell you, and the little girl, let me tell you the little girl. Okay, so people that I have one man that has drawn my blood for years. I have a thing about in the crook of my arm. I don't know if I've had a traumatic experience sometime in my life or what, but if you go near the crook of my arm, that's why I could never shoot up drugs, because I could never get that needle near my arm. I will literally almost faint. So I told that little girl, she was new, and I was nervous because when I went to the doctor, see, my doctor, she moved from this health system to this health system, and she's only going to be there a year, and it's, like I said, 45 minutes away. Well, all I got to do is go a year to see her, and then in September, she's going to be back in this other town, which is closer, easier to get to, where I go to the hospital, and some other doctors I've been to, so I like that area. And she says, okay, if I probably only need to see you one more time, depends on my blood work. When my blood work comes back, she said, I'm either going to see you in 3 months or I'm going to see you in 6 months. So fingers crossed, it's only 6 months. If it's only 6 months, then I only have to drive over there one more time, and then I can go, to her new place. But so the last time I was there, she didn't draw my blood. Now, my old doctor drew my blood every 3 months when I went to see her, whether I liked it or not. She would always say, now, I hope you don't mind, but we're going to do some blood work. I'm like, how many years have I been coming to you? And how many times do you draw my blood? Every single time. Well, this one does not do it every single time, like every other time. So maybe 2 times a year. She had to do it today, so it was a new girl. And I was nervous. So I told her, I said, I ain't trying to tell you your job. I said, but you don't know my veins, I said, so I take that little baby butterfly because I have really small veins. You'd be surprised to know how small my veins are. One time I had to get stuck 7 times. I think it was 7 times. If not 8. It was minimum 7 times before he finally found blood right up here. Yeah, that's how bad my veins are. I'm a hard stick. And so some people, like when I would go get my back injections, if I wanted to be sedated, they just, you get nervous because they don't all do it gingerly. That's what I tell David. I'm like, you can't do anything gingerly. So if he has to do something, I say, honey, do it gingerly. They don't work. So I told her that, I'm trying to tell her job. And so she got it out. I said, no. I explained to her the whole, arm thing. I said, he always took it out of my hand. I said, but if you want to do it in my arm, I will suck it up and let you do it in my arm. I'll just do it. I said, I will just do it. I didn't want to, but I was going to. If she wasn't comfortable doing it in the hand, she goes, oh, I've always thought the hand is, more painful. I'm like, no, not to me. I'm used to it in my hand. she says, well, that's where we're trying. So she tied this hand up, and she said, well, I think I got one there. Well, she tied this hand up, and she didn't like it, so she come back over here to this hand. I'm going to tell you, can't, it looks like a little, you can't even, can you even see that little bitty dot? I didn't even feel the needle go in. She was good. I told her, she said, because a lot of this doctor's patients came over with her when she switched. Her patients came with her. So we jumped medical groups to go with the doctor. She's that good. And so even the phlebotomist, he went with her. So that tells you a lot. She said, people have told me all about him, said that they compare me to him. She said, so that's why I get heart palpitations every time before I try to start drawing blood. I told her, I said, honey, you did a fantastic job. Listen, I would put her in my pocket and take her with me anywhere I need to get blood drawn. Listen, when I used to go to the kidney doctor, I had a woman in there. She blew me out in my hand. I'm not even exaggerating. She jammed that thing in my hand, and I like to come out of that chair. It hurt so bad. And she blew it out. From then on, when I went to that kidney doctor, I told them, I said, you send me the orders, I will take them to my man, and I will get you the blood work, because it's all with the same lab company. No. So anyway, that was why I did not stay on plan yesterday, because I didn't feel good. And when I don't feel good, I don't care what I eat. I told you that before. That's why I gained a lot of weight after I was doing so good. When I first started this channel, I got sick. And I was sick. Oh, I was sick. And I told you then, when I don't feel good, I don't care what I eat. I don't care if it's got calories, if it's got points. I don't care. I don't care what's wrong. I don't care. If I want it, I'll eat it, because I don't feel good. And that was just yesterday. I didn't feel good. And the first thing I run to when I don't feel good is food. I can't help it. It's as Hollywood say, that's just who I am. There's some things I try to change, and some things are not easy to change. Oh, segue. This. Let's discuss. Let me get a sip of it. So good. I'm going to tell you why it's good. I think why. This is why I was crabby. I told y'all on my grocery haul, I had tried the fat-free half and half. 2 days, I tried that fat-free half and half. I can't do it. Y'all, I can't do it. My first cup of coffee this morning had the fat-free half and half, because I didn't have no regular. I ain't had no regular in 2 days. Oh, listen, it was not soul satisfying. It was soul crushing. It crushed my spirit. It crushed my soul. It was terrible. I gave up sugar and coffee. I didn't give it up all at one time. I just weaned myself until I got to where now I can't stand sugar coffee. Sugary coffee is too strong to put regular sugar in it. But there's something about the mouthfeel of the cream. Even when I was on creamer instead of half and half, there was still a mouthfeel. I don't like that watery taste of coffee, that watery feel. So I said I think I could get used to it, but I'm here to tell you I think I don't want to get used to it. I told Joan this morning, I'm not going to repeat the word I used, but life is too short for a blank cup of coffee. Use your imagination and fill it in. If you're a tea drinker, I'll say the same thing. It's too short for a blank cup of tea. There are some things in life, you just have to have some enjoyment in your life. Even if you're on a weight loss journey and you're big as the side of a barn, you still have to have enjoyment out of life. Elsewise, why live? If you can't enjoy something, I mean, of course we have to do it within reason. we can't. Okay, my enjoyment of life is sitting with a buffet of fast food all in front of me. Well, obviously that's not going to get us to our goal. I don't think. And if it is, if drinking my coffee is slowing down my weight loss, I don't think it's slowing it down much. And if it is, all I know is it's going to have to, because I'm not going to call her out. She's like, her cup of coffee was her one joy in life. Some of us are like that. We just have this many things that we can get joy out of just for different reasons. There's various reasons why we can't do every single thing we want to do. If you can do every single thing you want to do, count your blessings, because it's not like that for all of us. So we take our joy where we can get our joy. And part of my joy in life is a good cup of coffee. To me, a good cup of coffee is coffee and half. I think cream would be too heavy. I don't drink creamers anymore. And the fat-free, I just don't want to get used to it. So, after that first cup of coffee, I looked over here at the clock. It was 6 o'clock. I was up at 3 o'clock and my eyes were still bleary. I'm like, ooh, I think you'll go back to sleep. So I slept till 5. And so I slept in this morning. I sat back here and I was working on them questions, and I turned around, I looked at the clock, and it was 6 o'clock. I'm like, okay, food line opens at 7. And I did not make me another cup of coffee. I'd had another cup. In an hour's time, of course I done had another cup. I took my shower, got ready, talked to John a little bit, sat out there, warmed up my car, went to Food Line, got my half and half, and come on back home. Made my coffee and sit down here and started talking to y'all. Best cup of coffee I've had in two days. And let me tell you, this is something that makes me crabby. These children that have to stand out in the bus in the dark. I just say it's a girl because she just looked like a girl. At 10 till 7, when I headed down my road, she was standing there on the corner waiting on the bus. I get to the store. All I did is I walked back, got my creamer, self-checkout, got in the car. 7:15, she was still standing at the bus stop. Now, I'm sure you might say, oh, she was out there to make sure she didn't miss it. I'm sure she was, because those buses are not always the same time. And if it'll come early, you got to be sure that you're out there. But then if it comes late, then you're stuck out there all the time. I don't like these children. When I come back home, there was other bus stops. I've seen children all the way home, children at the bus stops, all the way down the other road and my road, children waiting on the bus. I rode the bus. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with riding the bus, but I don't like to see and even though they look like high school size, they still children. I mean, they still children. I don't like to see them out in the dark. It makes me nervous. The older I get, the more nervous I get about things. All I can see is somebody riding by and snatching that child while she's out there waiting on the bus. And it's dark. There's no lights around. Who's going to see it and who's going to know? So stuff like that. Oh, that bothers me. So that got on me. I don't know if that made me crabby. It just made me sad. It made me sad because it made me so nervous for her. At least when I come back by, there were other people there. There was some standing back. So I guess they're in a different group. I guess we can't all get in the same group. There's little cliques in high school. So anyway, that was my morning, going to get my creamer for my coffee. Oh, let me tell you this. Okay, so I'm working on I'm gonna show you. This is the page I'm working on this morning. So this is the kind of stuff I do. You just make collage with different stuff. So that's why I use the papers and the stickers and cut out of magazines and books. Well, yesterday I was working on one about cats, because I had like a cat greeting card. I had some cat stickers. Well, I have some things that I cut out of magazines, sayings. And I cannot remember for the life of me what the saying was, but it worked perfect with cats because you know how cats are. Cats are cats. And I had it sitting on my page. What I'll do is I'll set stuff on the page before I actually glue it or tape it down. I'll set stuff on the page to see if I like it and reposition it, all this and that. And I had set it on the page where I liked it. I'm like, oh, I like it there. It looks good. And like I said, it was a saying out of a magazine. Well, I went through one of my books to get a sticker. I have this sticker books. Come over, put the sticker on, go to get my word, to glue my word on, and my word was gone. I mean gone. The only things that I touched after I had laid it there, I went through them 3 times. I went through these over here with I have a little basket. When I rip paper and put like little pieces on it, I'll save the other one so that I can rip it off and use it too, little scraps. I went through that basket. I went through my sticker book. I went through my glue book. I use catalogs as glue books to lay my stuff down to rub the glue on it so that it won't get on my tabletop thing here. I flicked through there. Did it get blowed over? Did it glue on that? It didn't glue on that. I went through my little garbage can over here, which is nothing more than a brown paper bag. I went through that. And I didn't have much to go through because it was a brand new bag and there's only a few pieces of paper in the bottom, so I know I didn't miss it. Went through everything 3 times. That paper is gone. I mean, Gone, out of here. So I told David when I went in there to wake him up, I'm like, honey, this was yesterday. I'm like, honey, there's something freaky going on. I explained the situation to him. I said, I'm here to tell you, if I go in there and that piece of paper is laying anywhere near that book or where I looked, I'm out of here. I said, I'm going to get Flair. I'm going to put her in her little box that I used to take her to the vet. I'm going to grab my laptop, my medicine, and I'm going to sit in the car till you get home. Because some otherworldly things are at play, right? So it's almost embarrassing to tell you. When I woke up yesterday morning, was it yesterday? Yeah, it must have been the day before I was working on it. It was, because I didn't feel good enough to work on it yesterday. And I was busy during the day. So then by the time I got to where I could work on it, that's when I started feeling bad. So it was the day before. So yesterday morning I got up. I kid you not. One of those cartoons. I come creeping back here and I look over like I felt kind of like Barney Fife. Barney Fife in the haunted house. Well, what he thought was the haunted house. And I looked, because I'm gonna tell you what. If I had seen that paper, I was just like, please, please, please don't let that paper be there. Because listen, there's some stuff that can happen. I don't care who you are. Things can happen. Still nowhere to be found. So I was telling David yesterday, I said, I snuck in there and tried to sneak up on it and see if I seen that thing. He said, if that paper had been there, he said, you'd have to go to the store and get you some sage and all that, all that other stuff. I'm like, you got that right. I said, before I could get to the store, I'd have been there and got the salt. And I'd have thrown the salt all over this room. Y'all think I'm joking. Stuff like that. Hold on. Oh, hold on just a minute. I didn't realize I had been talking that long. It's 8 o'clock. But listen, that was Flair's alarm. Y'all would think I'm crazy talking about them freaky things happening up in here. What happens to things when they're right in front of you and then they get gone? Something happens. Things don't just disappear into thin air. So, listen, think what you want. Think the girl crazy, because I just might be. So I guess I'll leave you on that spooky note. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. It did disappear into thin air. But luckily I didn't have to perform any rituals in this room. And I'm laughing, but that stuff ain't funny. No. So anyway, well, I guess that's all I know. I've got my coffee, so I should be out of the seafood restaurant for the rest of the day. I should feel a whole lot better. So that is all I know for today. Stay safe from the boogers. I know. Stop. That's all I know for today, and I'll see you on my next video.